Picture this. You're crouched behind a boulder, heart pounding like thunder. 30 feet away stands a creature that makes modern rhinos look like pets. 15 feet long, 8 feet tall, with a horn longer than your entire body. This isn't CGI, this isn't fantasy, this is Elasmotherium, the Siberian unicorn, and it's about to charge. Your stone-tipped spear feels pathetic against 5 tons of prehistoric fury. One wrong move and you're paced. But here's the incredible part. Your ancestors faced these monsters every single day and survived. Not only survived, they thrived. Smash that like button right now if you're ready to discover how your ancestors became legendary monster hunters, and subscribe with notifications on.
Surround the beast.
Because what you're about to see will completely change how you think about human survival. In the next few minutes, you'll witness the most terrifying and incredible encounters between early humans and prehistoric rhinos that ruled the Earth over 1 million years ago. You'll discover how our ancestors outsmarted creatures that could level trees, survived attacks that should have been impossible, and developed hunting strategies so brilliant they're still studied today.
History.
This isn't just ancient
Of
history.
our human survival
This is
DNA.
the story of why you exist. Every human alive today carries the DNA of people who looked death in the eye and said, "Not today." 1 million years ago, the world belonged to giants, and humans were just another item on the menu.
Elasmotherium.
Elasmotherium sibiricum wasn't just a rhino. It was a living tank with a single horn that could grow up to 6 feet long. Standing 8 feet tall at the shoulder and weighing up to 5 tons, these beasts could charge at 35 miles per hour, turning their massive horns into biological spears that could punch through trees. But the Siberian unicorn wasn't alone. Woolly rhinoceros roamed the frozen steppes in massive herds, their thick fur protecting them from temperatures that would kill humans in minutes. Coryphodon, the size of a small elephant, dominated river valleys with jaws powerful enough to crush human bones like twigs. The most terrifying was Wintotherium, a rhino-like beast with multiple horns protruding from its skull like a living weapon rack. These creatures didn't just defend territory, they actively hunted anything that moved in their domain. Early humans were not the apex predators we imagine. They were prey animals with one crucial advantage: intelligence. But intelligence meant nothing if you couldn't survive long enough to use it. The transformation from prey to predator didn't happen overnight. It was earned through blood, intelligence, and countless generations of trial and error. Archaeological sites in Olduvai Gorge reveal the earliest evidence of organized rhino hunting dating back 1.2 million years. Stone tools found alongside rhino bones show distinctive wear patterns, evidence that early humans weren't just scavenging dead rhinos, they were actively
The tracks
hunting
lead
living
directly
ones.
to the water source.
The weapons were primitive but effective. Hand axes weighing up to 5 pounds, knapped to razor sharpness, could penetrate
must
even
approach
the
from the
thickest
south,
rhino hide
downwind,
if properly
where
aimed.
the air will carry our scent
Wooden
away.
spears, fire-hardened to rock-like hardness, could be driven deep enough to reach vital organs. But the real innovation was psychological warfare. Early humans discovered that rhinos had predictable behavior patterns. They were territorial, following the same paths to water sources. Most importantly, they were surprisingly poor at judging coordinated threats. The hunting strategy that emerged was brilliant. Teams of 10 to 15 hunters would identify a solitary rhino.
Through strategy.
They would approach
wit.
from downwind, attack with spears aimed at the legs to limit mobility. Then hunters with hand axes would dart in to deliver. When a 5-ton Elasmotherium decides you're a threat, you have approximately 3 seconds to live or die. The attack pattern was always the same. First came the warning, a deep, rumbling bellow that could be heard for miles. The massive head would lower that 6-foot horn pointing like a spear at its target. At full charge, an Elasmotherium moved like a freight train with murder on its mind. But early humans had learned to read the signs, the way a rhino's ears moved before an attack. the subtle shift in stance that preceded a charge, the particular type of snorting that meant immediate danger versus simple territorial display. Survival came down to split-second decisions. The moment a rhino began its charge, humans had three options: climb something too high for the rhino to reach, dodge to the side at the last possible moment, or use the rhino's own momentum against it. The dodge required nerves of steel and perfect timing. A human who waited until the last possible second, then dove to one side, could sometimes avoid the horn while the rhino's momentum carried it past. The most dangerous hunters weren't content with just surviving rhino encounters. They actively sought them out for the ultimate prize, the horn itself. Rhino horns weren't just trophies. They were survival tools of incredible value.
Mobilize it slowly.
A single elasmotherium horn could be carved into dozens of tools. Spear points harder than stone, cutting implements that held their edge longer than any metal, and ceremonial objects that marked the bearer as someone who had faced death and won. But harvesting a horn meant getting close enough to a living rhino to remove it, a process that required the animal to be completely immobilized but still alive. The horn collection process was surgical in its precision, requiring coordinated spear attacks followed by careful cutting with stone knives. These horn hunters were the elite warriors of their time, respected and feared in equal measure. But the practice came with enormous risks. Rhinos that had been attacked but escaped often became rogue animals, permanently aggressive and likely to attack humans on sight. The deadliest encounters happened when humans and rhinos competed for the same resource that meant survival.
We
for
are safe
both.
here.
Shelter caves. During ice ages and harsh weather periods, natural caves became premium real estate. But rhinos had the same survival needs. When rhinos occupied a cave system, they would defend it with the same ferocity they showed defending territory. The cave wars that resulted were sustained battles for strategic resources that could last for weeks or months. Human strategy was typically based on patience and intelligence. Rather than direct confrontation, they would make caves uninhabitable for rhinos through constant harassment, noise, thrown rocks, and smoke from fires. Rhinos would respond with charges and aggressive displays, but they couldn't maintain this level of alertness indefinitely. Eventually, exhaustion and stress would force them to seek shelter elsewhere. The most successful human groups developed cave fortification techniques, using rocks and wooden barriers to create defensible positions that could withstand rhino charges while providing escape routes if defenses failed. The constant pressure of rhino encounters didn't just shape human hunting strategies. It fundamentally altered human evolution itself. Fossil evidence shows that early humans living in rhino-dominated environments developed distinctive physical adaptations.
Listen closely.
Bone density increased, particularly in areas most likely to be injured during encounters. Brain capacity increased dramatically in populations that regularly encountered large, dangerous animals. Children growing up in these environments received survival education that would seem impossible by modern standards. By age 10, they could identify different rhino species by their tracks, predict behavior patterns, and execute emergency procedures that could save their lives in seconds. This confidence would eventually carry early humans across continents, through ice ages and into ecological niches that no other species could occupy. The last elasmotherium died approximately 35,000 years ago, but their impact on human evolution was permanent. Modern humans carry genetic markers that can be traced back to populations that regularly encountered prehistoric rhinos. Enhanced spatial processing, improved pattern recognition, and the ability to coordinate complex group activities under stress. These are all evolutionary gifts from ancestors who faced 5-ton killing machines and survived. The hunting strategies developed for rhino encounters became the foundation for all subsequent human hunting techniques. The social cooperation required to survive rhino attacks created the organizational structures that would eventually build civilizations. But perhaps most importantly, those ancient encounters established the fundamental human belief that intelligence and cooperation can overcome any physical threat. Your ancestors looked at creatures that could crush them without effort and said, "We can figure this out." That same spirit lives in you. The same intelligence that outwitted prehistoric rhinos is solving modern problems. You are the descendant of giants, not in size, but in courage, intelligence, and the absolute refusal to surrender to impossible odds. If this incredible story of human survival inspired you, smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because there are countless more epic survival stories waiting to be told. Like this video if you're proud of your prehistoric warrior ancestors, and comment below. What modern challenge are you facing that would make these ancient rhino hunters proud of your courage? Share this with someone who needs to remember that they carry the DNA of survivors who conquered literal monsters. The rhinos are gone, but the human spirit they helped forge burns brighter than ever. Don't let your ancestors down. Keep fighting, keep surviving, keep proving that human intelligence conquers everything.